Welcome back everyone to another Coach Blaker's video. We're going to be looking at a VOD review here. Silver Amumu gameplay. This is a game, the player was curious on how they could have impacted late game a little bit more. They had a lead, but they ultimately ended up losing and they felt like they had no impact. So we're going to look at this game and we're really going to see what was really going on during this moment and how we could just get better at fixing it and not having this situation happen when they do have a lead. So we are Amumu into Mordekaiser. They have a Garen into Nasus. We have an Ezreal into... Is that Ezreal mid? Yeah, Ezreal into Akshan. And then we have an Amumu... I mean, not an Amumu. a Samir and Karma into Caitlyn and Soraka. So, we already know that Garen's going to beat Nasus early. Mid is going to be weird. I'm going to assume Akshan just has the upper hand on it. And then as far as bot lane goes, like, we're just going to be poked out. We do want to start from top to bottom just so that we can impact the bot lane. We need to get Samira ahead, and Garen's just going to automatically win. Not saying we can't help him out, but we want to put way more focus into that bot lane, really getting that Samira ahead for us. So let's see what happens. Putting a ward down, okay? And we're going to start bot. So yeah, we definitely should have started top and path down. But let's see what you do, because maybe you have something up your sleeve. Let's see. Okay, we are full clear, which is fine. Okay, so let's just pause. And let's imagine you did your pathing and you went down. Right? Now let's go back a little bit more. Because, well, let's just say you didn't cross over yet. Alright, so let's just say you did your 3 camps and you're crossing right here. Oh, wait till you get to the middle. Boom. So say we're doing this, but we're going the other way. And we see this kind of happening down here. Look how aggressive they're being. We already know that the next wave that's coming up, she's going to do the same exact thing, and she's going to push up. The same exact thing. I don't know what happened, bot. We've seen that they were low, but let's see if they do what was kind of expected. See? They're in the same position here. So, this could have been something where you could have impacted it, or you could have hovered to see if they overcommit and look for a dive once they get them really low, kind of how they were. But once again, like, you must have had something up your sleeve, maybe? So let's see what happened. Let's see what you were thinking. We could go top to counter gank for Garen, but like I said, I'd probably put more focus on that Samira. Okay. So we didn't get really anything accomplished here. We got the crab. Oh, we got the kill, though. We ended up dying. I want to say that that kill was just Mordekaiser being really, really greedy. You shouldn't have got it. You would have gotten the crab, but you see we really just had no impact topside other than just getting the crab. The kill was just because the dude was bad and he just walks right into you, right? He was greedy. We go back down here, right? Look how overextended they are. Like, this is a little bit ridiculous. Now, realistically, you can't help with this because you'd be too late if it was at this particular moment because she's super low and Karma's not there. But you can see how much more is going on in this lane than it would be in top lane, especially because we already know that Garen wins that lane by himself. He doesn't really need you. All right, so let's see what happens. Okay, we see Mordekaiser down bot. Can't really do much. I'm gonna get bullied out. That's another reason why pathing from top to bottom, especially into a jungler that likes to invade you, if he invades and you're not there, he doesn't see you and he gets no camps because you're pathing away from him, right? So if we were to do what we did and we path down, by the time you recalled or gone for a play, you wouldn't be here. You'd be up here. You'd be on Crux, and you'd be pathing down again. So 2 reasons why you'd want to change your pathing. Okay? First reason, the jungler can invade me and I'm afraid to be invaded. So I have to path in a way that confuses him, in a way that he just doesn't expect it. The other way, or the other reason, would be because there's no action on the side that I'm pathing to. The lane's not really volatile, meaning that it doesn't go, like, it could go either way. We already just know that he straight up loses. There's really no reason for you to be up here. And Garen is not your win condition this game. These 2 are your win conditions. So we want to put a lot more focus down bot. That's not saying you can't help top. That's not saying you can't participate in whatever, debauchery goes up there. But I'm saying that we want to spend most of our time on one side. So I always call it the 80-20 rule. So 20% of our time would be up here, 80% of our time would be down there. So we would just be down there more often than not because we already know the most action is taking place in that little Caitlyn lane down there. All right. I know that's not really what you were asking for, but I just thought I should mention that. You know, pathing is a huge part of becoming a really, really good jungler. You really need to know how to path and where you're going and why, because you'll end up in a situation where there's nothing for you to do, and you have to then recall just like that. And that was a play you could have been a part of if you would have packed down. That makes sense? So pathing is just huge. It's super, super important. We're going for this gank. We know Mordekaiser was just here. This means that if he counter ganks, this just gets screwed up. Let's see what happens. He counter ganked. And it got screwed up. I mean, you guys still managed to pull it out. But once again, I just think they played it bad. The only reason why I'm like focusing so much on just quote unquote them playing it bad is because you want to really climb because you're playing well, not because the players you're like playing against are just giving you freebies. Like, this is just a bad play because we know that he can respond to it. That's all. The fact that Caitlyn decided to run towards the Mordekaiser and run through all three of you guys instead of just running backwards and into the tower or running with Soraka means that she just like got lit and caught for no reason. Like none of that had to happen. They could have actually won that fight if they played that better. So the first thing that I do want to write is just going to be focus more on pathing the right way for the right reason. And the second thing that I'm going to say is just try to do your best to play 80-20. Spend most of your time on the 80 side. Alright. So all this crazy stuff's happening. You're going to invade. Once again, you're spending a lot of your time on the side that just has nothing going for it. Whereas Mordekaiser's spending his time on the side that actually has a lot of things going down for it. I mean, luckily he's not really doing that well, right? Okay, you're holding the wave. Perfectly fine. Love to see it. This is something you kind of can't control. Your team's just kind of going crazy. Like I said, you want to try to be a part of most of the fights if possible. That way you can, you know, pretty much do what you just did here. Like that's pretty much what you want to do for the remainder of the game until objectives come up. And then once those objectives start spawning, like Dragon and Rift Herald, Baron, etc., you want to be ready for that. So there's 2 minutes to drag, and then there's 1 minute and 30 seconds for Rift Herald. That means we want to do our best not to fight until Rift Herald comes and then until Dragon comes. So let's see what happens. Let's see how we continue to play. There shouldn't be random fights. Garen is like hard winning top, so that's a free Rift Herald if I ever seen one. And then we will look for a team fight down bottom. We would only there's only supposed to be 2 more fights within the next 3 minutes. So let's see what happens. Okay. We do know that Rift Herald's coming up first, so you can snatch this Rift Herald real quick and then snatch Dragon. Because their team's going to be so focused on, Dragon. But we can go ahead and grab that and make our way. Just something to think about. You try to use most of your... Try to spread out your resources to get a lot more done on the map. Okay, that should lead into the dragon. So that's the fight I was talking about. That's one fight that should happen for that one dragon. It shouldn't really be anything else. We should just go to the drag. Exactly, perfect. If you continue to chase and do things like that, you'll all end up dying and you'll throw the lead from getting the dragon. Like you don't really need to fight so much. Just get the dragon. It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. All right. Good. Now we do the same thing. Now we want to go get that rift. And now we would have had that rift already. And if, let's say we did get that rift, guess what? You don't have to fight again. Which means that we don't have to risk throwing again because we already got the rift before the dragon. And we already fought for the dragon. Does that make sense? Because they weren't going to contest this, you get it for free. And then the fight you have to fight for is this, which is the only one fight. You only had to fight one time, technically, in the last 3 minutes. And, you know, one fight's better than 3 or 4 fights. So we should be looking to get that rift. There's no focus on the rift right here. We're just kind of scrapping and running around. And then eventually someone's going to be like, oh yeah, Rift Herald. See what I mean? You see kind of how we're not really dictating how the game goes. We're just running around fighting, and then whatever is the closest objective, we take that. It shouldn't be played like that, especially if you're looking to carry and climb, because nobody else knows what they're doing a lot of the times. So you have to make sure that you're pinging them, you're telling them what to do, you're telling them where to go, because that's the easiest way to do it. So what we want to do is try to control your team more and really get them to go for objectives. Some people think, well, my team doesn't listen. A lot of the times that might seem like it's the case is because the time that you ping them. Like you're pinging them right now, and let's say, I don't know, Carmen decides to just dive, and Ezreal decides to dive, and like, I don't know, Soraka decides to do, Samir decides to do something crazy. Because they're already in the motion of doing that, they don't listen. But if we can get them when they're doing nothing, but like walking around, they have no choice but to listen because that's the only thing on their mind, you know? Like right now, look at them. They're focused on the blue buff. What Rift Herald? I got a blue buff. And then look, now he's focused on something else. And now they're focused on something else. Like they don't really care about what's going on here. Luckily, Samira turned around. But you can see my point. When someone's already focused on something, it's very hard to get them to follow your ping and do what you want to do. All right, we're looking at Dragon at 2 minutes. So we have two options. We wait for Dragon and do nothing. Or we can look for a fight to then drop Rift Herald. So we got two reasons to fight. That's unfortunate. Okay, because we lost Karma, we just back out. There's not really much we could do here. I mean, you could probably surprise me, but I don't really think there's much to do over here. Okay, you left. Okay, cool. We don't need to drop the Rift Herald. This tower is going bye-bye, period. And this tower is, like, you shouldn't be able to get this tower. This tower is going to go by anyway, because look at the HP. You guys just walk up and hit it a couple times. It's gone. It was a waste of a Rift Herald. Was it going to run out? I wish I knew. I don't think they show you in replay. I'd have to, like, time it. Oh, no, they do show you. Yeah, it wasn't going to run out. Okay, I didn't think it was. So you could have held it a little bit longer. See what I mean? You didn't even get anything. You didn't even hit that. Like, all of that just did not have to happen. You have to be thinking ahead. You know, what play am I going to make now that will impact the next moment or the next play? That's what you're thinking about. It shouldn't really just be random walking around looking for hooks and stuff like that. And that sounds a little bit BM, but I'm just going based off of what I see in your play. Your play just shows me that we're walking around throwing hooks out. And if we catch someone, we catch someone. There's really no rhyme or rhythm to what we're doing. Right now, you're walking the dragon, so that tells me, okay, well, you have dragon planned. That's what you plan to do. You see how easy it is to tell that from your movement? That's how I can tell you didn't really have much going on right there. You're just kind of walking around looking for a hook onto somebody. Hey, your whole entire team wasn't ready. Once again, they could have been ready if we didn't do that fight down there, which then stalled everybody to then come late. Right? So that one little thing, domino effect. And the thing is, domino effects happen whether it's good or bad, right? You can get Rift Herald, lead to a fight, and then get a tower mid, maybe even two, and then maybe get another kill. Like, that's a good domino effect. But a bad domino effect is us dying right there, which caused us to be late to Dragon, which caused us to all die because we're fighting without an actual team. All that happened because of that. All right, so right now, the only thing that we have left up is Baron. Dragon's coming up in 4 minutes, which means that we really shouldn't be looking for fights right now. We should just chill out, look to defend, maybe look for a pick, but we're not looking for a straight up 5v5 type of situation. Because I don't think we win him anymore. Yeah, like this, I wouldn't look. I would not look. This is not a fight you win. Just run away, go farm or something. Like go farm your camps, you know, go maybe sit right here and wait for them to cross over, because you know someone's gonna have to deal with them. So maybe you can wait for Nasus to cross over and then you 2v1 Nasus. But this right here is not the play. I mean, let's see what you do though. You tried, but I'm glad you failed because it wouldn't have worked. So now you kind of look a little bit lost. And once again, we're just in that motion of just not really controlling the game. A little simple play like that, because we know that someone was going to walk by to stop him. Someone has to stop him, right? Look what happens. If we just go out of the fog of war right here. And you were chilling right here. Now, there's a ward there, unfortunate, but let's just say you were chilling right here. And he just does that. And Garen is pushed up. You guys kill him. Garen's massive. And you're a Amumu. You kill him. And then we can get tower. That one play that you decide to call leads to a free tower. Do you see kind of how this works? It's literally what play leads to what. What play leads to what. What play leads to what. If you want to climb, if you really want to carry your team, that's what you have to think about. Because when you start thinking like that, you can ping your team and they'll start following things like that. Because once again, your teammates don't really know what they're doing. Oops. Okay. Okay, random fight happening. You're trying to rotate. Like I said, we don't really win 5v5s. We just need to chill. But I don't see you really pinging anything or telling them what to do. So they're just kind of walking around doing random stuff. You don't really ping that often. Yeah. Just got to control our games a little bit more. Not saying that that means you're bad or anything like that. It just goes to show we're not really looking to tell our team what to do, where to go, how to play with pings and whatnot. It's just, you guys are doing something dumb? All right, here I come. I'll try to help you. You guys are doing something dumb? All right, here I come trying to help you. Just kind of letting the game unravel on itself when you could be definitely controlling it. So now we're going to play from comeback. We can't win a 5v5 again, so we should not look to force them. But that's all we kind of know. And so we keep forcing, we keep forcing, we keep forcing, because that's all you know right now, right? All you know is like, I get hooks, I force, I force, I force. Because we're behind, we can't play it like that. We have to think of another way. Well, then how can we win? Another way was easier, like I said, when Gnosis was coming. Use the fact that Garen split pushing as a way to pick somebody off, because we don't win 5v5. So identify if we win 5v5, and then if you don't, stop having them. Really look for another way. Okay? I think that's pretty much it. I think it's just the same. You guys force, die, force, die, force, die, force, die. Just kind of the same stuff over and over. I don't really think it changes. Usually once a team goes into that route, it just happens over and over. But let's see. Yeah, see? Force, die, force, die, force, die. We forced like 4 times in a row, and we died every single time. And the definition of insanity, according to Einstein, is trying the same thing over and over, expecting different results, correct? So why keep trying the same thing over and over and over if we know that it's not going to work? When something stops working in your game, identify it, approach it differently, and I guarantee you it just worked out better. You'll end up coming back. You'll end up closing out faster and stuff like that. So the last thing I'll write here is just, when something doesn't work out, try to approach it differently. All right, so it's pretty much what I want to see. I think the main thing that we can really focus on, though, is just pathing to the right side and then just trying to control your team more. Really go for objectives that lead to something. Objective that leads to something. Fight that leads into something. Fight that leads into something. We're just randomly doing stuff. We have to make sure that we have some type of direction, okay? So hope this helped. If you guys are interested in any coaching, coachblicker.com is where you want to go. Link description below. Thank you guys for watching. Peace, late. Have a good rest of your night or day.